Someone says you can't do something as well. That's when you want to do it, isn't it?
Like yard work.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about yard work, but I got yard work I need to do.
Well, I'm trying to finish it off so I don't have anything to do.
Whoa. Yeah, I'm not. Am I in the wrong place?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're right.
watching now, I'm like, I turned it on, and there are all these people there, and I'm like, am I in the right place? Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
I'm going to Tim Hortons. I'll be right back. I'm going to get myself a cappuccino.
What did you say?
I think for Tim Hortons,
Uh,
a cupcake or something.
yeah.
You're so
Don't
funny.
call me
Hey, man,
cupcake,
how
man.
you doing?
Uh,
Hey,
give me
Grimmelin.
coffee or whatever.
Oh, you're waiting for
Not a
that? What
large one though.
Fana's doing with that gal? Yeah, that looks like it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
I think I'm in the right stream.
you are.
Who have you got in the chat? I've got drone shots, Lynn, Ian. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've got the same.
Gremlin. I love that name, Gremlin.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
It is really good.
Gremlin RC.
Yeah, so guys, I asked Sean to come in because I want to talk to him. Roger's gone to get a cold coffee. I wanted to talk to GeeksVana because choo choo, hey Night Train. He was talking to us the other. He did a video on the beginner all the way up to the fancier DJI products. He also knows a lot about Skydio and yeah, you do. You're gonna have to because I don't.
Okay.
And the Evos and all that. And I noticed that sometimes we get, hey, AZ Jones, we get people in our streams that are talking a lot about where do they start.
Yeah.
And
indeed.
And when we get a program like last night that was great and so many people in it, and people are picking up those those Mavic Air 2s so fast. But you also know that a lot of our gals and our guys don't, oh my God, they don't have the money to do stuff like that. They just don't, or they're not going to do that. So we're constantly getting, what can I do to make that a better fit and to make it a decent drone?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? It is a tough one. I mean, it's one of those situations like me and Kim were just talking about FPV and camera drones and the different cultures. But it is one of those things where, unfortunately, to get it right, there is a certain amount of investment required, and the cheaper drones, although they're good, literally, if you wanted to literally just start and you buy a cheap toy drone, great. It's gonna at least teach you the fundamentals. But then, depending on whether it's FPV or camera drones, there is a no man's land, in my opinion, where the cheaper drones just won't fulfill what you need completely. They can, but some of them, there are the odd one. I hear the odd person saying, "Hey, this is a great drone, and it only cost me, $195 and that type of thing." But it's more of a rarity, and the investments needed there. But then people could look at the second-hand market, pick themselves up the first generation Mavic Pro for a few $100s, and that would be a lot of drone, especially with someone that doesn't know drones, who are fairly new to them. That would be a lot of tech and a very good camera.
So tell me, let's talk a little bit about the toy drones, because I went down that road. The first thing I did was I got this little selfie camera that just attacked me. Oh, the little selfie drone that attacked me.
Yes.
Constantly.
Yes.
Anytime I went in the air, it hit me in the head.
Yeah.
Do you ever see a purpose for that?
Well, I mean, I like these little jobbies, like the really small toy drones, and then you've got like the little the Parrot Mambos and that type of thing, which at least have some kind of vertical hold and and some kind of sensing going on, from the point of view that they do teach you how to fly a drone a bit more than just the completely random toy drones, which won't. But again, it depends on which route you want to go, and if you want to go camera flying, then these are good, but for a very short amount of time. But if you want to go FPV, then they can teach you a little bit more. But it is one of those hobbies where your return is very much linked to investment sometimes. But again, it depends on what you want to get out of it, because I hear so much, especially with a new launch. I'm glad this launch is out of the way, because now I can stop listening to people comparing all these drones, like, oh, the Mavic Air 2 is better than the Evo 2, and the Evo 2 is this and this is that, and the M2P. And the simple fact is that they're all pretty good drones for the specific job that they're created for. And trying to compare them these days isn't particularly easy. And I do think drone manufacturers are starting to identify chunks of the marketplace, and they're going after that now, rather than just trying to create a generalized drone. But the Mavic Air 2 is probably the first drone to be, which I think will be popular with the general market for a long time.
Well, and I gotta say, I think when they came out with their bigger drones and they went to smaller drones, I think they had something there. But the battery life was a little bit lower, and there were things, like obstacle avoidance, that some didn't have as well. That might be a problem for a newer flyer who may need those things.
Yes, yeah,
The drone
indeed.
for a longer amount of time.
Indeed, but again, it's about choosing where you practice and what kind of flights you do to actually get your skills up.
Okay, let me put you on the spot now. So, what is the best drone? And I'm not talking about $5,000-$10,000 drones. I'm saying, let's say 2,000 and lower. What is the best drone out there for an overall drone?
It really does depend on what you want it for, honestly.
Overall,
but that is the marketplace. There isn't. I mean, they call the Mavic 2 Pro the king of drones for good reason.
God, you're good.
It's
You're
a very
good
solid drone.
Out of this, but I'm going to push you back into the corner.
Well, there
because
isn't
I
one.
saw how you
There
did
isn't
it with that one guy.
It's the same as saying what is the best sedan car on the market. And the problem is that different sedan cars will be aimed. A Honda Civic driver is very different to a Jaguar driver or a BMW driver. So it does depend on a lot of things and how much you're willing to invest into the hobby. The only problem, like as Kim was quite rightly saying just before we came onto air, is you can get into a cheap toy loop where you just keep crashing and breaking and then buying again. And that is something, and that ends up costing you more. You buy 3 or 4 cheap drones, you've very quickly spent the money that
even with that FPV
from something secondhand.
They had some cheap little kits you could get, and for $99 you could put some together. And it's good for a first time build, and it's good for a first time this. But I got to tell you, I don't think I would have liked it. I wanted to build something that I built that I thought would last for a little while. Destination Chronicles, how you doing? And we have Rotor Dylan here. And hey, Blaine, now hold on. Glad to see you. Sorry, how do I do this now? But I know you in the way. Oh God, I hate when there we go. Sorry, guys.
That's cool.
There we go. So I guess, okay, so let's say somebody wants something inexpensive, but good. But we all know the thing that will probably last them the longest right at this point, you guys can say it's not true, but I think it is the DJI if it's a camera drone. For overall...
Yeah, I mean...
Video will follow you, and I think that's pretty darn cool, though. I got nowhere I'm going.
DJI drones are, again, if you bring it back to the automotive market, it would be like having a Ford and no other car companies. You know, there's only apart from Ford, there's one or two companies that churn out a few cars here and there. But they dominate the market so much so that it's easy for them to have built to where they are, really because of that, the market domination. So they're able to, they've been very clever in how they've done it and how they've kept things going. But it's very, very difficult for anybody to try and step into that marketplace. I mean, you know, they've managed to get this launch out there whilst the Evo 2 is finally hitting the streets. So there's going to be a lot of people that were considering the Evo 2 that will now buy the Air 2, etc. So, and you know, they have a lot of power in the marketplace, and I think that it's sometimes it's very good because they are decent drones, but I think it also harms the industry when one particular company has such a dominant hold, because the problem then becomes is everybody wants to copy DJI rather than coming up with their own innovation,
Right.
Which I think is what we need to see.
Right, and I agree with that. I'd also like to see drones have a little more variety in where they're being built, because I think if anything COVID taught us was that when you have everything being made in one place, or most things,
Yes.
that when it goes down, you aren't going to be getting anything.
Yeah, no, indeed. I mean, it's a very unique situation, isn't it? And it's been a very big problem for so many sectors.
The coffee's hot. I think I've hurt my nip.
Oh no.
Ian and Flying Gremlin says the DJI has way too much tech that can spy on you.
Well, there's no doubt about it, but I think that's going to be true of all drones now. Yeah, they all have.
Well, I think you have a very unique issue with the Chinese drones because, of course, there are laws passed in 2015, 2017, and 2019 that basically mean a Chinese citizen cannot refuse to spy on behalf of the state, and that all major Chinese companies that have exports basically have to open their books up to the Secret Service over there to be analysed. So it became something that people were concerned about to actually being enshrined in law over there, so that in actual fact people were correct to worry about that. Now DJI have taken steps to open up server farms in the States so that they now say any data created in the States doesn't leave the States. But again, you've got to trust in a company that legally, if asked, have to cooperate with their Secret Service. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in other countries. You know, a major British aerospace company who were exporting to somewhere. You know, if they were exporting to somewhere that the British government wanted to have a look at, I'm sure they have a little word with them and say, hey, while you're over there, can you count how many airplanes are on their airfields? You know, I'm sure these things happen. It's not an exclusively Chinese thing. But when you're talking about drones, obviously, you know, especially when they can be flown in sensitive areas, hence you've had the Army, Air Force, etc., drop the Chinese drones. It is a genuine security risk.
So what do you put in the place of that? Because the truth is, when DJI comes out with something, I actually watch the screen and people salivate. They are so excited. And even knowing that they can spy on you, even knowing they have all your data, which I don't know how much that is. I guess if you were doing things you shouldn't be doing, it wouldn't be good. I mean, if you just eating
you have
dinner
to remember,
and flying a drone, I don't know.
We have all of this Chinese tech as well. And you know, as was Blind is saying, you're sitting in front of computers and you're worried about DJI spying on you, which is exactly correct. It is everywhere. So I think for us consumers, it isn't so much of an issue. But I think for the government and the state organizations, I could see it would be an issue. You know, if the the Army were doing training sessions on how they deal with disaster recovery and they're recording it with drones to analyze afterwards, and all of that data is going back across to China, then that is definitely a security risk. But for the point of view of the consumer, it isn't so much of an issue because it's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. You know, I have a phone here manufactured by a company whose one of their senior directors is in prison for spying, so, or for alleged spying. So it is a very, very difficult decision, but issue, but it doesn't really impact the consumer unless it's a factor for that personal consumer. Because some people, of course, you know, they'll tape up their phone cameras, they'll put tape over their cameras on their computer, etc.
So give me 1 second. Night Train, I finished lesson 2. I took the test. I got 100, so will you. But there's one part in it that I didn't understand at all. So when you get all the way to the last one, or the second to last, I can't remember, and you see that one diagram they're going to show you, let me know if you're looking at it like I was. Watched it 3 times ago. I still don't get it. Because I'm going to be getting hold of Paul and having him help me with it. Because I have to be able to get what they're saying. But there was something about it I just wasn't getting. So go get to studying. Okay, so I guess what I wonder is, let's say we have someone in here. I'll just take someone at random. Let's say Destination Chronicles or was blind. I'm just saying. So I think Destination Chronicles, you can correct me if I'm wrong, would love to have a decent stable drone where she can go up, because she does travel vlogs, and she needs, I would think, I could be wrong. Hey, Frozen Fury, she needs something where she can go up and take those wonderful pictures of those places that she was traveling to, and just give everyone a feel for what that's like, or even in her ski or on her mountain. But I can't think of anything that would be $100 or less.
Oh yeah,
that would do what she would want it to do. So where does she go and get a decent drone, secondhand, third hand, I don't care, that would give her that stability? It's not going to give her, it might not give her great battery time, I don't know, but some battery time, right? And like a 1080p or a 4K experience.
But sub you know, $300 or $400, you're not really going to find much, and that's the problem. If you want it to do anything of really high quality, that's worth having, especially with the in terms of photography, it just isn't there, unfortunately. I think it possibly will be there in the future. I think that if you look at the patent put in by Sony, they've got a tiny little, let me see if I can actually find my file on it. They've got a tiny little,
can't you go to, like, not eBay maybe, but can't you go to these secondhand type places, or like, okay, so right now we know DJC or DJI wants to do, if you want to turn in your old drone, like a Mavic Pro, they'll give you $229 for it as a trade-in value for their new drone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if people would sell it for what they were going to get for it, that'd be excellent then, right? Are you thinking no?
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know anybody that would genuinely let their Pro go for how much DJI do things on the trade-in. I think that would be an exceptionally low price to take it in at. It's similar to, again, to the automotive market with the trade-ins from that point of view, that, you know, you can go and look at a car for $8,000 on the forecourt that if that was traded in the following day would be, you know, $4,500 that the dealer would offer you on it. But there, you know, it just never seems to actually work out that way. You don't get that, because of course the market dictates, and the Mavic Pro is still a popular little drone secondhand. I mean, Drone Shots is saying they're the Tello Iron Man. I mean, that is probably one of the more starter. I mean, at 720p still, there isn't it? It's not 1080, but and I know the Iron Man Tello, certainly over here in the UK, was actually on sale. Yeah, it's down to £77. I'm not sure what it's doing in the dollars market. But that's, you know, that's probably a decent starter. But again, any kind of wind, you're going to lose it. So it is very, very difficult. But do you mind if I share the screen very quickly?
I don't mind.
Because what we do have coming around the corner is this type of thing, which is this is one of the patents which is being developed by Sony, and they've actually recently made a few changes to it, and this is going to be a little sort of, you know, mobile phone size thing where the holder itself actually comes apart and becomes the controller, and this will be your ultimate little sort of selfie style family photo. You know, out for a walk, you want to take a quick bit of photo or video type of thing. And I think it's going to take a very, very big manufacturer to come into the marketplace and decide they want a chunk of that marketplace, because there's enough people there that don't even want to spend the money of a Mavic Mini, but just want occasional use. Then I think it's going to be a flying phone, you know, essentially. Or a flying, you know, a phone size sort of thing with the props that come out, etc., and perhaps works either off your phone or off, as the Sony one is proposing, working off the cover, becoming the actual controller. So it's going to take a change, but of course regulations are pointing in that direction. Regulations are going to get tighter over the next few years, and even what we fly now and we take for granted as we fly now will be very different in 5 years' time.
Right. Yeah, I was just I was looking at a bunch of Mavic stuff a while back, and I don't want to spend that much, but then I have the Phantom 3. So if I'm gonna fly that, I'm gonna fly that one, right? That's what I'll be
Indeed.
flying. But it just makes me think, oh, Mavic Mini money is tree new quads for me.
Exactly.
But,
So it does depend on which direction and that you want to go in. If you want it for the photo stuff, or if you want it for FPV.
see, and Destination saying she just wants something to practice with. But the truth is, if you get something nice, I mean, when I got that little one that kept hitting me in the head, I hated it. But when I got the Breeze, that thing shouldn't have been as good, I don't think, as it was. But it was. It was good for me to really learn on. It was 150. And I made the jump because the truth is I wanted something that would hold on.
Nice.
And
yeah.
And you're not as likely to crash a camera drone, truly, as you are FPV.
Yeah, no, indeed. I mean, you know, it's very difficult because the cheap end of the market, I don't think, gives you the true indication of what a drone can do for you, and what the hobby can provide you within either your working life or literally just as a hobby in itself. And it is one of those difficult situations, because I think you do have to, unfortunately, get to those lower down DJI prices to really, or even secondhand DJI prices, to really get something that's going to give you some decent flying and decent footage, of course.
Right. Oh, not crash. That's not for me. I can crash an drone. Because that's one thing I was so worried about, crashing the Breeze, but I wasn't. I mean, I nicked a ladder one time, but I didn't actually crash it. And then I realized that it's not as easy to crash it as what you think.
Yeah.
You know, it holds on. Hey, Drone Pool. So now what I would like to know from you, because I have more questions, you've probably been watching the reviews on the Mavic Air 2.
I have been watching some of them. Yeah. I mean, there have been some mixed reviews out there for sure. It doesn't seem to have. It hasn't. The whole launch hasn't stuck. Again, as you'd expect in the current worldwide crisis, it hasn't stuck in quite the way that other launches have. They knew that by the fact that they focused it on Chinese time zones as well. So. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very, very popular little drone, but it didn't quite have the impact of others.
Oh, Okay, Gremlin, thanks for coming in. So tell me, so it didn't stick, but what are some of the things people are saying are not working for them? And then we'll go on to what is working.
I don't think it's necessarily what's not working for them. I think that there are disappointments from the European side that it doesn't already conform to the new regulations that are coming in very soon for parts of Europe
Oh,
from July. So you're already buying a drone that will be useless in any really productive area of flying within 2 years, which is a long time for drones. But some people do who would spend £1,000 on a drone would expect to still be flying it in 2 years. And yeah, it didn't really rewrite any rules or set the world alight per se. It's fantastic, and I'm getting one, but that's because it's probably aimed at people like me. I'm coming up from a Mavic Air and the Anafi, which are Wi-Fi proper Wi-Fi drones. So
right.
I'm looking forward to OcuSync and some of the other benefits of the new drone. So there's definitely a very big market for it, but it just doesn't seem to have created the same buzz as other ones have.
Yeah, because I looked through all my stuff today on YouTube about what's for supper, but I didn't see anything about the Mavic Mini. And usually, my page is completely full when something new comes out. But it are the Mavic Air. I didn't see anything on it, and I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think the best review I've seen of it is probably iPhone Doze, because he did at least try out Active Track 3 properly. He walked under some very close bushes and trees and that type of thing, so he did at least put it through its paces a little bit more. But one of the issues is that everybody that has one at the moment has been very carefully chosen by the manufacturer, so they're not going to sit there and say this is awful or that's awful. So it's going to be a while until we get the true reviews.
Okay, that makes sense to me. That does, because they want to make sure that that it can hit its mark, even during this time.
Yeah. I mean, and there has to be a bit of seeing off Otel in there as well, I'm sure. When DJI are planning the launch and they knew it was still coming up for within the COVID issues, I'm sure that they had other things like the Otel Evo 2 in their mind and wanting to mop up some of that marketplace.
Right. I'm trying to see if I can find. I can't do it. It's not doing it for me. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna tell him goodbye. Are you stuck, Sean? Are you still moving? Okay, Paducah, I wanted to say goodbye to you, my darling. Are you stuck? I think Sean is either stuck or he's in a coma.
I think he's stuck.
You're gonna have to speak louder, Kim. I can't hear you.
I think he's stuck.
Are you stuck? You look so cute.
Special brownies.
Oh, someone's making special brownies. Are they? Are they? Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by this whole rush for the Mavic Air 2. Internet down. We'll be back soon. Okay, GeeksVana. Because I thought that if they came out with a Zoom 2, they haven't come out with that yet, have they? Am I missing some stuff that they've been doing? Because they just came out with the Mini. Now they're coming with the Mavic Air 2. And it's at a decent price point. And by decent, I
I
mean,
don't think I don't think they have a Zoom 2 yet.
huh?
I don't think they have a Zoom 2 yet.
I just thought they'd come out with one of their really good ones in this. I don't know. I don't know what they're coming out with. I am of the adage that if what I have works, I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to stick with it for now. For now.
GearBest come out with inexpensive camera drone. It looks so much like the Mavic Mini.
Really?
Got hand gestures and it's got all these other little controls. It's even got a sensor.
You go like this and it goes away, and you go like this and it goes down.
Well,
And
yeah,
I
you
don't
can
believe
do
it.
it has follow active track in it as well.
Does it? Yeah, see that little teeny one I got was supposed to have that, and the only thing it tracked was my head. And you could not just send it back. But most of the drones I see, hey Night Train, most of the drones I see that they talk about, right, are they look like a phantoms. You know how many they come out with look like a phantom? And I don't think it can be as good as it. I wouldn't buy it.
Well,
And they're
this
like
one looks like
$89.
a Mavic Mini.
Huh?
This one looks really a lot like a Mavic Mini.
Yeah.
It's Wi-Fi.
How much?
It's like $30 something or something on sale.
Could you imagine getting from Banggood, which is also known as Bang You Good, and you get that for $30 and it was like the Mini and it flew like the Mini? I think people would get upset.
Yeah, I mean, I saw like videos on it and stuff like this.
Hey,
Interesting.
Phantom. Yeah, I just don't think it can do. I don't know what they do, but I think there's some false advertising because they have one, I swear to you, that looked just like the Phantom, and they're like, oh, this is. They said the Phantom something, the something in the wording lets you know that it's not a Phantom. Some knockoff they're doing. So I don't know.
Jump off is just a freaky hair thing.
With your hair, Kim, or was self-induced? No, he
I
hasn't
tried it
cut
a
his
while
hair.
back, but the shampoo I use is kind of like weird.
Had it out. Oh, hey, Corey Mano, you had it out 1,300 feet, no issues. That's really
Corey.
good. Hey, novice. Yeah, I was just talking to Kim. We had a GeeksVana.
Good.
He's going to try to get back in, but oh my God. So that's all I'm wondering about. Editing and listening on the phone. Thank you, Phantom.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. Let's get Savannah back in here. He's going to come back in. But yeah, I just thought to myself, you know, if you're going to get a decent drone, you don't want to go get the ones off the Bang You Good site. I just don't think that would work.
Should I send you a hairnet? No.
Did I send you a hairnet?
No.
Okay, Kim, open your eyes. There you go. That's better. Well, you have them like this. I couldn't even tell if they were open. So, yeah. So I was just thinking about it because I just don't know. Now that I've been flying for a little while, I just think that it's if you get a really cheap drone and try to make it work, even to try it out, you're not going to be happy with it. You're not going to think, you know, droning's for you because after that little drone I had, I didn't until I just kept on droning channels and finally said, okay, I'll get something else. Good work. Oh yeah, I'm keeping what I have. So I'm not going to go and get anything beyond that until I am so confident with my Phantom 3 that I cannot stand myself. And the stuff I've learned in the 107, I can fly close to airports. I can do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I'm not buying anything more.
Yeah, the Phantom 3, it's good for training.
Yeah? Okay, I will tape a little camera on a paper plane. No, destination. We're going to have to find a way to work this out for sure. Because I just want you to have a decent one. We just got to find a decent one. Hey, Mr. Crowley, how you doing?
Mr. Crowley.
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
Hi, sorry about that. We're having internet issues in the UK at the moment with one of our major suppliers. It goes out for just a couple of minutes, then comes back. I was so pleased that it held during the stream last night. That was one of my waking nightmares that it would happen. But yeah, fortunately it was okay.
So we talked about the Mavics, and we talked about all that stuff. But one thing, now I'm going to ask you: the DJI goggles. Now you may not know as much. I don't know about that part of it, but they're supposed to almost be like a cinematic when you're flying an FPV. They're supposed to be very clear. You can fly them wherever you want to fly them. You don't have to be hell bent for leather. I mean, do you think they're going to take a little place of some of the other drones flying?
I think there is a definite future for cinematic FPV. If you look at some of the there's a couple of very good channels out there that have got some incredible footage. I definitely think there is a future there as the cameras and the stability of FPV and the skills grow. Then yeah, I mean there are some people out there that can get you footage on an FPV quad with a good camera on that you don't know isn't coming from a camera drone, frankly. With you know onboard stabilization, etc. These days, there are some scarily good pilots out there.
Yeah, I've been watching some of the people who've been doing it, and I got to tell you, I am amazed with their talent. Now they're way more talented than me, and probably always will be. But I just, you know, because they just are. Hey, novice, I sent you a link, but anyway, if you want. Anyway, but I just thought to myself, when they're doing the cinematic flights, I mean, it's beyond anything I've seen, even with camera drones.
Yeah, no, indeed, it's definitely a growth area, and I think as technology, perhaps when we get into the next generation of cameras and the next generation of battery, then I think the and also with the way regulations are going, we could almost start seeing more hybrid type drones on the horizon. But you know, it's going to be an interesting 5 years for sure.
And this is the thing, they're still coming out with drones. They're still coming out with Cinedrones and like the Mobile 6 and all that. They're still pushing them all onto the market. And yet they've been talking about the fact that they're planning on changing what we're doing with drones, right? The FAA is talking about regulations. They're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we've got to get used to as drone flyers is that the future of drones, and I'm talking the future of drones 20, 30, 40 years, the financial income to large business and to government is so phenomenal that there is just no way that we are going to keep the freedoms that we even have now in the mid to long term. It's still going to be a great hobby for a good 10 years, I would say. But certainly, you know, longer distance, we'll be looking at a much more restricted type of thing, because I think the hobbyist drone will become very autonomous. And I think they will start to look to take the hobbyist pilot out of the equation by ensuring they're flying something that can't get themselves into too much trouble, basically.
Yeah, because I'm looking and I'm thinking, so I know Night Train's doing its 107. I'm doing my 107, and I am feeling a little bit like what's going to be there, like, because I'm telling you some of that's throwing me for a loop. But I'm just thinking, is it going to be where we want it to be in the next 10 years?
Or, you know, it's with technology and any hobby that is based in technology, 10 years is a lifetime. So things could really be very, very different. We could have there are innovations, there are things happening with batteries, there are changes that are coming and that people are proposing and working on, which would revolutionize so much of the hobby that we might not even recognize it that much in 10 years time. But certainly we've still got a heyday for the hobby which we're in at the moment, where we get to take advantage of all this wonderful technology and have a relative amount of freedom. but that will have to change at some point. But
It
we're talking about a generational thing, in my opinion. Still,
That's another reason why I walked away from GPS. Well, sort of, because I mean, what's the point of you being there when it does everything itself?
yeah, no, indeed. I mean, again, I think it depends on it. But you see, I agree with you, and I completely see your point of view. However, I look at at FPV in the same way. I look at FPV and think, I really don't want to do that. You know, I really do not see the point of doing FPV for a number of reasons. But yet, I enjoy the camera drone side of things. So, I think it's horses for courses as ever.
Yeah.
But I think I think the hobby is going to change dramatically. I think FPV will change extremely dramatically within 5 years. But I think they might be looking to almost sidestep all of our thoughts and how we want things to be, because it will be autonomous, or you know, there's going to be a leap in the next 10-15 years as far as how autonomous AI works, and then that will revolutionize everything. It will revolutionize the cars we drive, the you know, the planes we fly, the drones we enjoy. It will change everything.
I think right now, after what's happened, the COVID isn't really about technology, though we could use some higher tech for this stuff. But I think everyone's starting to see the thing I've been saying for years. Life changes on a dime. It just changes on a dime. It does. And when we think we're here, and then a big breakthrough happens or something huge happens, and next thing you know, we're thrown all the way to the other side, and we're looking at life going, "Wow, this good or bad kind of sucked," because I was kind of in my groove right here making things work, and then it just changed. And we've even seen that in YouTube. We're just floating along, doing our thing. We're growing, we're having fun, and then all of a sudden it comes up, "Oh wow, we got to protect." YouTube and this stuff, and then now we're thrown for a loop. Now, by the time I figure it all out and get just kind of revving up again, it'll change again. So these shifts are maddening, Sean. They are maddening to me.
Yeah, I think it's a very difficult thing, because change isn't something that people want to see. I mean, there are swathes of people who have left the hobby, that were in the hobby, that would think the hobby as it is now is way too regulated and too, you know, wow. I tell you what I don't like. I tell you the thing that upsets me most about the changes that we've had is actually the RC community in general, in the wider flying RC community, the 3D helis, the model airplanes, that type of thing. And you know, for instance, in the UK, registration has incorporated all of those things. So it's not just drones that have to be registered over 250 grams. It's even if you're flying a little model airplane as well. And that frustrates me, because it's another barrier for getting into the hobby. And you don't have your 10-year-old son going down a field with his father and tinkering with an airplane and learning how this little gas motor or electric motor, or however it's being powered, how that works, and you know, having that outdoor fun and learning about engineering and everything else like that.
Right.
If you look at a lot of engineers who have impacted our generation, if you look at their list of hobbies, often it's RC flying. And I think that's the only shame, is that sector has been dragged in with the hobbyist drones as well.
Right. And, you know, I'm just going to say this so Ken doesn't have to, because there was a time when he used to be able to shoot off little rockets. And I used to call him Rocket Boy.
Yeah, the government had a fit over that, but then they couldn't control it, so they turned around and went, we give up.
Well, and even, you know, I think they didn't mind so much the camera drones, because they kind of control a bit of that. But now everyone's...
What really bugged them is because you didn't have to go to the store and buy a specialty shop and buy fuel. You could make your own rocket fuel from sugar.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about how we made it.
No, indeed, exactly. And it's when you start to regulate the sort of ingenuity out of the teens' part of your life. I mean, you know, I used to play with things and break things apart and build things and drive things, and you know, it was fantastic fun to work out how things worked. And if you start to remove hobbies which give younger generations a really engaging format to learn so much, then I think that's a shame for the future.
Night Train says the news put out how to make chloroform today. You know what? I just don't even know what to say to that, Night Train. I'll just be looking over my shoulder a little bit.
maybe you could use some on those gophers.
Oh, because then I could go to sleep, and then
you could relocate them, so you can do some like CIA movie thing where you
over to the river,
chloroform them and take them off to a new location with new identities.
Jeez. We're not giving out recipes, Jim Fox, for God's sake. I have enough people watching my videos. Yeah, so I was just thinking, we have so much change going, and I know there's things out there that people can still do, and I do think when all this stuff started with the flight and what the FAA was trying to do, that just kind of pushed a bunch of us over the cliff. And I know a lot of people started selling their drones. They said they weren't going to fly anymore because they just got tired of having someone try to take away that right they felt they had. You can't keep with voucher, right? I'm just saying. But then I thought, now all that's kind of calmed down because something else went into the news cycle. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, indeed, but it will be back in a big way, and the problem is that we're now in the zone where they're getting everything ready for the future. So we're going to have a lot of regulations come in the next 5 to 10 years that probably won't be used most effectively for 15 years, but they're going to get them in place so those companies can then go and develop the drones they need on the commercial side of things to make things work for them.
Because they want to do delivery. And
they want
to do everything.
Drone taxis, as in automated taxis, AI taxis. Don't really want to call them a drone when there's someone sat inside them. And you know,
if I can have a car flying in the air, that is kind of cool.
Well, when we were children, we were promised flying cars. Where's our flying cars?
Yeah, I was too, and I think, you know, give me some goggles and a controller, and I'll go up in my car and drive. But you know, by the time we get that, I think I plan on being about 80, and I don't think they're going to let me do it.
Yeah, and they won't be flying. It'll fly for you if we ever get to that stage.
See, that's not as fun.
With all this automated stuff, I mean, it could be our downfall. No jobs. You don't need anybody to fly. You're now out of work. They don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
You're gonna sit around. You're gonna eat and huge and
yeah.
And your life expectancy is gonna be less because you're doing nothing.
Yeah, both the UK and US governments have invested into fairly significant amounts of money into research on how to shift the economy and how to shift the work market when autonomy really when AI autonomy really starts to take control, because it is recognized as a significant issue. And it's something that they're trying to research to see how they shift things around to make it work.
Well, look what happened in the auto industry a bunch of years back. Everybody had a job screwing panels in their car and all of a sudden the robot showed up and they're doing it all, and all these thousands of people are out of jobs.
Yeah, no, indeed, absolutely, and it is going to continue, but we're going to see differences. We're going to see things happening where, like, you know, your groceries being delivered by a drone van. Well, then there's going to be thousands of jobs in those centers, not very good jobs, picking the bags to put inside those drones. And there's always going to be some kind of human interaction in any of these automated systems.
So I saw a news program where they had a cooler going down the street, they programmed it, off it went to deliver groceries.
Yeah, well, they're currently testing them in Houston, Texas. It's definitely in Texas. I'm sure it's Houston, and they travel at a maximum of 25 miles per hour. They have little gull wing doors on both sides, and they're testing them with pizza companies. I can't remember the name of the very large grocery company in America which they're testing it with. And basically, this thing plays a little tune as it pulls up outside your house, almost like an ice cream truck. And you get a text message with a PIN number. You put the PIN number in, it opens up, and your grocery bags are sat, or your pizza is sat there waiting for you. And these things fly along at 25 miles an hour and are, autonomous. They're overseen centrally by drivers during the test, but they're being tested right now. They're on the streets.
Yeah, I was kind of amazed because they didn't have to have them flying over my head. They had them on the ground.
Yeah,
you had to live within a certain area. They weren't going to go out 20 miles, but I thought it was interesting that they were able to keep them on the ground. I think that was probably a good idea for right now. I don't know if I want to see a flying cooler over my head.
I mean, as far as widespread drone deliveries, as in quad, as in multi-rotor deliveries, there are so many hurdles. There are so many hurdles to get over, and you have to be looking at so many intricacies and security issues and privacy issues and everything else, it's very difficult to see how they will become regular in the near future. One thing that people like UPS are looking at is actually what's called the final mile. So their van driver will drive to an area. So let's say you have a city of X hundred people. The van driver will drive to a central point. He has a drone in the top of his van, and he loads each individual parcel for that area, and the drone delivers essentially the last couple of miles from where he's parked up. So that's something which is probably going to be, that they're trialing that at the moment. So that's something that will probably be the first step, which will still save quite a few miles for that van to travel around. But it's very difficult to see how these things will be in widespread use, and therefore, if they're not in widespread use, they're not going to be economic.
So I'm going to tell you, I'm listening to Craft King, and he said it was the same when computers were introduced, and I remember that because my dad, he told me all about the supercomputers and all the little cards, because he worked with IBM. He worked in IBM. And then, of course, we got the IBM Juniors, and then it went up and up and up. And right now, and people were worried, but I think, I don't know what I'd do without all my computer and my tech.
Yeah, that's right. And our phones that could, could have taken man to the moon back in the 60s. And as Craft King says about his town is talking about an ordinance to ban delivery drones for noise issues. That's exactly what Google experienced when they were testing them in Australia. They were testing them in the Canberra area, and they were bringing people their hot coffees and things within 4 minutes or something ridiculously quick. But they had many noise complaints. And that was just trials. So we're talking about a very restricted number of flights. So there are so many hurdles for them to get over, but the pot of gold at the end is so substantial that they are willing to legislate now to get us ready for it, essentially.
Well, and I gotta say, that's one reason why I thought, that was part of the reason why I thought I'd do my 107 now, because somebody's going to have to program, someone's going to have to fly, someone's going to have to do all that. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be, flying pizzas, because I'm sure they're going to pay me right for that. But I'm thinking there's a lot more drones could do. And at some point, it might be worthwhile. And just because, you know what, I can't help it. I always want to learn. I don't know why I need to stop it, but I just always want to learn something.
Indeed. I mean, I've been taking my UK qualifications, and I don't intend on using them commercially. It's nice to learn things and advance your knowledge base, certainly.
See, I had a coffee and a donut delivered by a human. Not some freaking drone showing up on my window, banging on the window, says, "Here's your order."
Oh, you'd open that so fast and grab your coffee and your donut. Don't you like that?
Yeah, I grabbed the drone to beat extra parts.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. You'd be like, nice props.
So I will tell you guys, I'll let you in on this. Some of my friends know this, but I'm dyslexic. So even when I went to college, I had to study 2 to 3 times longer than anyone else. And I did my master's program and the same thing 2 or 3 times. Now I did it, but when I came out, I think I had PTSD. I would dream of missing classes. I would dream of walking in to do my test and my test wouldn't be there. I was in the wrong classroom or something. Not that I was doing that, but I was sitting there studying and I just thought, oh my God, why did I do this to myself again? Because I noticed that I'm looking over those videos. I'm looking over the paper stuff and the handbook over to make sure that it sinks in so that I have it. And I forgot how hard it was to learn. I forgot for me. It's not as hard as when I was a kid, but it still feels hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's something, if you're not doing regularly, it does be, you have to relearn learning, don't you, essentially?
Right. And then I think of damn Night Train probably just flipping through those pages going, it's just sinking in by me just turning the pages. I'm like, damn you, Night Train.
No, it is difficult.
Because I'm going to be sitting there. He's going to be done. I'm going to be sitting there just going through those pages. I want a lesson in just audio so I can sleep it through. I got to tell you, Night Train, I used to do that in my classes where I had to remember dates, acronyms, and all that, and statistics especially. I would tape it, the whole lesson plans, and then I'd listen to them over and over. It's the way I was able to make sure it got into my head. I can't explain it, but I'm like, oh my God. Well, I will do it and I will get through it. But I forgot what it was like. I did forget. So
Yeah,
now
it is tough.
The subconscious is awesome.
Craft King, remind me what part 103 is. I always get, is that the carrying things, or is it the ultralight? I can never remember the different, or is part
Are you
135
doing the 107 or the 103, Craft King?
He said he's doing the 103 as well. I was just wondering what the 103 actually does. Be interesting to know. But yeah, and it's been proven the younger brains learn better as well, don't they? They take more information on. So
it feels the same to me. I tell you, it does feel the same to me. But I'm trying to figure it out.
Ultralight build, yeah, I thought so.
It's 20 acronyms that I've never heard of before, And so, ultralight, I think is 103.
Yeah, very cool. That's a very cool thing to be.
You didn't have to have a permit license for ultralight.
On the remote pilot, because when you're done with this, you're almost to the point where you can pass your flying test and you can come out and you can fly. And I thought, oh, wouldn't that be something? I'm afraid of my drone running away. I don't know what I do about something in a plane.
Very good. What are you actually flying at the moment then, Val? What's your drone of choice?
It's my little guys. Now that the weather is good.
Oh yes,
FPV,
the one you built.
But I have the Phantom 3 that I have to practice on so I can get more of an idea. And I got to keep reading those charts because they talk about airspace.
Yeah.
I thought,
is there a practical side to the 107? Do you have to turn up and show you can fly and that type of thing?
You do not have to show. So thank God. thank God, because I'm gonna just walk in there, take it, and go. Okay, now let's go see what havoc I can wreak. But the one thing I do like about it, John, is I found I can fly almost anywhere. Certain things I have to get approval for, but most things around here I can just fly.
That's cool.
So I think that'll be a lot nicer. for me. So that won't be an impediment for me
Definitely.
having a 107. But Night Train, he says he's gonna do it for work. He's gonna do great. He knows a lot of
That's
people,
cool.
so he's gonna
Very
do
cool,
great.
man. Very cool.
But I don't know. I don't know if I really see it as a job for me.
Gives you options, doesn't it?
Please fly a figure 8 line of sight for us. I know if they did that, I would be like, can I just hold my drone and run in that pattern? Because that's, I think, where I would be at that point. Because, I think that getting that knowledge is essential. And I want to be like Paul and wear it on my jacket. Okay, is it wrong if that's really the only reason I want it? So I can wear it on my jacket and be like Paul.
Jacket saying you're a pilot.
UAV pilot, stand back.
Because his looks pretty cool. He puts it on. You're going out to fly a ship, and out the door he goes. That's cool. I'll just go out and go, I don't need to fly. I'll just wear this.
No, exactly.
Oh my God.
The hobby means a very different thing to different people, doesn't it? That's the thing. It's such a, it really is. Everybody's experience is different. And that's why it's very hard. I find it very hard. And I don't have many reviews and things of drones on my channel because I think it's very hard to say to someone, you should buy this drone or buy that drone because it's great or this or that. I which is why I like things like John Coopy's channel. Because his reviews are very matter of fact. They're like this. I flew it this long. It did this. It did that. This is the camera it uses. This is the XYZ. And so I really, I like those kind of reviews because then you're left with the information you want to find.
Right, and very unbiased about it.
Yeah.
I think
Exactly.
Impersonating I need to just get
I
just need to get the tag and not worry about the license. No, one thing I know is that once I pay for something, I'm going to do it. That's just it. I put out my money. I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm getting your value out of it.
Yeah, and I really do think that more of us need to do it because I think that carries a little more weight.
I had this debate myself actually. I've just carried out one of the new qualifications which are coming in Europe, and called the A2CFC, and it will allow us to be able eventually when the right drones come on the market to fly within 5 meters of uninvolved people, which is a lot closer than you can get at the moment. But I honestly think that the level of course that I've just taken and passed should be the basic course for hobbyists in this country, just from the point of view that you should know about quite a bit more than you have to know on the basic registration scheme to fly camera drones, in my opinion. But obviously a lot of the UK where people fly is a little bit more populated, so there are more risks.
Well, and I think once you get your 107, it gives you more onerous. Is that the right word? You have more accountability for what you're doing. So you're not going to take a drone and just fly it up to an airplane if you could, right? You just wouldn't be doing it. And the reason you wouldn't be doing it is they can take your license or you in jail and fine you. At least here they can do all kinds of things to you. If you're a hobbyist and you do that, well, good luck with them finding you. So I think that there is a little bit more to say. You're getting really invested in it. Now, I'm not saying that everyone needs to do it because we have some very responsible flyers in here, but we've had some people that haven't been responsible with what they do, and it's been scary. They keep throwing us back in the hobby instead of pushing us forward.
Everybody does it though. Everybody does it. We hear all this conversation about this. It's one of my frustrations of the hobby. Sometimes you hear all these people saying about oh, this pilot's irresponsible, that was irresponsible, but then everyone's doing range tests, seeing just how far they can get the latest drone and that type of thing. And It's very difficult to support that kind of thing, and it is frustrating. So, but it's that kind of behaviour which will give them the excuse one day to really limit us.
Well, we had guys flying along the beach, and they go, "Oh, I was able to get out a couple miles." For me, that would be illegal. Now they say when you're flying, you need to be able to see out 3 miles. If your drone goes out that far, you should be able to see it. Can I tell you, that's not going to happen with me. I won't be able to see it. It's just not going to happen. Some guys can, but I love the shots they do when they're taking their camera drones and they're going along the beach and seeing the waves. It's so peaceful. You know, I love the beach anyway. But then you get somebody who's just flying it so far, you know. I don't know how they fly it that far when I don't think we've had batteries. We'll go, "Oh yeah, I'm out 5 miles." Are you really? And how are you seeing that? But it's beautiful.
It's a very difficult subject matter because it's prevalent in the hobby, and it's it is a real issue. Here with our new regulations here, we're actually going to be regulated to keeping the drone within 120 meters. So it's getting a lot tighter.
How far is that?
That is 400 feet.
Okay, that's what my breeze. It wouldn't fly more than that. But if you're doing something scenic, and I think you need a little more than that, don't you?
I had quite a good range test this evening actually, which was quite interesting, and it was someone that's going to be testing the range on the Air 2, and what they're going to be doing is they're going to be leaving someone in charge of the drone hovering, and they're actually going to take the controller away. So they're going to move the controller X miles down the road so they can see whether they've still got control of it. I thought that's quite an interesting take on the range test.
And I was wondering if they're could they actually just set people up to be that visual along the way so they could fly further? I mean, it seemed like when I was reading some of the regulations over the past couple of days, it sounded like they may be able to do that.
Do what? Sorry.
Move people out, like have your controller, but have your visual person just go out further.
Yeah.
Using someone, just have them.
Yeah. Well, that's always the thing. That's always the defense people give, that they had spotters with radios. So yeah.
Like he gets visual observance in direct contact.
Exactly.
Well, he could be on a radio. Yeah, I've heard that they're not supposed to do that. But I think you might want to know how far, and if you're doing, but I also think you can get waivers for a lot of the rules if you need them. So yeah, you just have to have about 3 months to do it. I don't think I'm going to need that because I like seeing my drone and where it's at. I like not seeing it, so I think I'll be okay.
Okay, I must hop off now, but it's been fantastic to see you both and seeing everybody in the chat.
For coming in and letting me ramble on. I appreciate it.
Anytime. I'll see you next time.
Okay, Sean. Good work on your stuff. When is at the door? Be back soon. They can't see it either. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm just pretty excited about this class, though it is bringing back some memories of college. I'm just wondering when I want an exemption so I can range test daily. Shut down the airspace for me.
I give it 10 years and I won't even be flying anything.
Oh, stop, Mr. Happy. Show a smile on your face, baby.
Oh,
Let me see your smile.
I'm chuckling like hell inside.
Huh?
I'm happy as a lark inside. Don't worry.
Yeah, see? Are you leaving Craft King, or are you just saying goodbye to GeeksVana? You know, I thought that was really nice for him to come in because I wanted to talk to him. And we have a lot of people who know a lot of stuff. So I'm just now, don't let them trees hold you down. Right? Oh my God. See, once I get my license, I will hide it if someone tries to take it from me.
It'll keep them off your back.
Did
And
you know your initials are FK? Oh, did you? Which one did you put your toothpick in the tree?
oh no. And you found it?
Yeah, it sounds like you did. Hey,
Damn,
Kim, I'll
that
be
tooth-
right back. Is that okay?
Uh-huh. That tooth
Don't get all negative. I don't want to come back and see everyone crying.
the toothpick is tiny. I don't know how you found it in the tree. And a 2x4. You're lucky. How's that toothpick flying? It's flying good, I guess, huh? Other than that stinking tree. Orange props and blue canopy, that'll help. When you lose contact now, that thing warbles, like makes a sound, doesn't it? Like a rescue beep or something like that. It rips. Man. It's been so long I haven't flown anything other than a stinking little toy wolf. Oh, you don't have a beeper on it? I'm dangerous. And yeah, but that's part of the hobby. Flying free. No LEDs? Oh man, you're lucky you found it. Lucky the colored props in the canopy, or it'd be missing. The weather's been horrible here. Uh, I can't remember a calm day. Usually it's so Kim's dangerous. No, actually, I don't like flying around people. I try to avoid flying around people unless it's a little whoop or something like that. That's not so bad. Just had to hunt for a few minutes. Yeah. My last episode was up in a freaking 50-foot tree there. Yeah, it's been too windy here to even bother even flying the Spark or anything else. These winds are persistent here. Right now, I got some parts in and all that to repair a couple of the drones I broke. Got some new antennas and so forth like that. See Night Train, the kids, they're the next generation. Oh, that's pretty cool. You're liking what you're seeing of the Mavic Air 2? Yeah, but flipping heck, is that ever expensive in Canadian? Do you think you need one? When's that supposed to be coming out? Pretty soon, right? Of course, everybody already splurged on the Mavic Mini, and now they got this other one out now. Yeah. And the same here was flying. I like watching the other people fly. Next month?
I'm liking what I've seen. Oh, you are thinking about getting a drone pool? Good.
I think everybody is thinking about that now.
Yeah? Might hit tomorrow. 4 weeks back pay.
Uh-oh.
Thinking about the Mavic 2.
Uh-oh.
Mavic 2 Pro. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I knew it.
Oh my gosh. Mm,
The more we're stuck in the house, the more we're buying more products.
right,
'Cause
right.
it's easier. Hey,
See.
Washington County.
Hey, Washington County News, thank you so much. I surely appreciate it. Thank you. They keep the first week. I thought they weren't going to keep the first week. Night train. I thought they weren't going to have a waiting week most states. It's getting ready to storm here. Oh. And I could be wrong about that, but I thought they weren't going to do it because of everything that's going on. I'm sorry to hear that. Here we are. That's not where I was going to go. You have money in the bank with this. I'm making more on unemployment. Wife's a working. Taxes back. Well, it's good. Yep. If I can get it out. This dang house, right?
That's everybody.
Week of March 29th. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, I don't think because I'm self-employed and some other stuff, so I don't get that. So I just got to make what little I have last, and keep myself busy so I don't go out for a week so far. Under special. Nice. Yeah, so just trying. Yeah, 1099 work is. But I didn't lose my job based on COVID. I think there's some stuff to be said for that. Mary just died, so I have to figure it out. And I never get 1099s. So I pay my taxes, but I just put them down what I make. But I am very happy that you're getting unemployment. Wow. So I think that that I like GeeksVana.
He's cool.
He's very nice. He's very nice. Yeah. My head is still ringing from all that I did. Boss hit me up today, said he's good at, got an exterior, we can start Monday. Oh, nice. Nice.
That's cool.
So pretty soon you can have all kinds of drones. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me, Night Train? I'm happy for you. I am happy for you. I wish we could all be within that space. I think it's really good. What? What do I see? Maybe I gotta hit that thing. Yeah, here we go. Waiting on a fresh build right now. Missing frame and motors. Yeah. Nice. Here under the table work is drying up. Yeah, I think that's going to be true for a lot of people. Don't you think so?
Well, I mean, they're discussing about opening up certain jobs and things like this there. So I don't know what's going to happen with that.
What?
They're thinking about starting to open up things like certain schools and
I heard that.
and opening up the economy a tiny bit. Or
I heard that. I heard that that was going to start. How you feeling about that?
I don't know.
I think that I'm not having as much problem if they're prepared. My problem is I don't think they are yet. So
Yeah.
I think they are, but I don't think they are.
Well, I mean, they don't want to do it all and go through all of that, and then all of a sudden there's a massive outbreak, you know,
Yeah.
because then it would set you back another 6 months.
Yeah. Oh, that's what's happening. Let me get back. Where am I? There we go. There we go. My frame was pre-ordered coping. I'll be going back soon after. Yep. Okay, good enough. It doesn't. Disability. It said I was still good. Construction opens here on the 11th of May. Oh, does it? Yeah, I don't know when it opens here. I think they're pushing because everybody, you know, these protests have made it seem like we all want to just get out there. You know, I don't know. And then they say if you're still in the vulnerable population, stay in. But how do we do that with no money? Locked till May 15th so far. We are still locked. Are you? I made in a week at my job. Yep. Somebody is lying. Let me say that I don't know how they think they know that. I just don't know. Yeah, but we're just here till we're here for sure. It's never shut down here. I've been working every week. Have you, Drone Pool? Oh, that's right, because you're down in Kansas, right? No, Missouri. You're one of the states that decided not to lock it down. So just be careful.
Well, plus I don't think he's around a lot of people either.
Yeah. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. I got a super terrible headache and the aspirin didn't take it away. So I am really sorry. They told me in 1999 I would be dead in 10 years. They lied to you. They did. They did. So guys, I just, you know, no game night. We'll start again Sunday. Hopefully my headache will be, I don't know what's causing it. Could be because Lillard slept on my hair and my head all night. My little snickerdoodle dog, you know. So, okay, I love you all. Thank you so much for coming in and being part of this. I so appreciate it. Thank you, guys.